Hey there, I'm Larry from Be Alive. This is our Recess series where we encourage you to get out and enjoy the moments that matter. Today is our review of Cabernet Peaks. This is our winter series where we're actually reviewing all of the mountains in Michigan and giving them a score from 1 to 5 and letting you know everything you need to know before planning your trip there and making sure that it's the right spot for you, whether it's in a good location for driving, whether they've got the amenities you need. We're going to dive into all that right now, so stay tuned. Okay, so where is Cabernet located? Now it's located in Cadillac, Michigan, which as far as cities go, there's not a ton to offer, but it is a really cool place. And if you live on the west side of Michigan, it makes for a really easy drive. It's kind of a central location too if you're in the middle of Michigan as well. I know a lot of people that actually head up from Chicago or Illinois to make a trip to Cabernet because it's like only a 3 or 4 hour drive and you get to have a little bit of everything when you get to the hill. So that's where the main location is, but as far as accommodations go, it's actually kind of limited, and there's 2 reasons for that. The first is that when it comes to the on-site accommodations, there's one medium-ish size hotel with, I don't know, maybe 200 rooms or so, and they fill up fast. They're also not anything special, if I'm being totally honest. So that leads a lot of people to staying at Airbnbs or places in Cadillac, which is actually like a 20-minute ride to the hill, maybe 15. So it's kind of like more of a day trip place, I would say, because unless you get a spot on the hill, which is doable, you're kind of looking at a long ride. All right, next we're talking about amenities. And as far as amenities go, it's right down the middle. You know, there's nothing really amazing about what Cabernet has to offer, but anything you need is there. There's a couple bars if you're looking for a couple drinks on the hill. There's, like I said, they do have a hotel, there is a pool, there is a hot tub. So anything you would hope exists, it does have there. It's just not, 5-star version of it, if that makes sense. Now, one thing I really liked about the amenities of Cabernet is that they have this giant, gorgeous lodge. It fits tons of people. There's always a fire going, and you can actually bring your own foods too. So if you're looking for a day trip with your family, I remember going as a kid, we would pack like a crock pot of soup or chili, leave that in the lodge, and then we'd be able to come in from skiing and grab a snack without having to, go to the food court and stuff, which is upstairs of the lodge. So they do have everything, which is great. Okay, next we're going over hill size. And when you look at Cabernet on paper, it does actually seem a little small, like there's not a lot of runs or that it's not the highest hill. But when you get there, there's actually a lot more that you can do there. A lot of hills will count, a spider web of a hill as 2 hills. And Cabernet doesn't do that as much, or I think they'd have a lot more than the 34 runs they advertise. As far as height goes, though, it has one of the highest elevation differences in the Lower Peninsula. And I'd say it's just really underrated. There's tons of different runs you could do, so you can basically do a new run and not get bored all day. They have 2 separate peaks as well, so if you get bored with one section of the hill, you can go over to what's called South Peak, where there's a whole nother batch of runs, which is pretty cool. They also recently added a new lift as well as expanded the other half of the mountain a little bit wider. So there's even more runs now, which is great to see because I grew up on this hill and I love that it's growing and maybe getting a little too popular now. It used to be kind of a secret spot, and it still is on certain days. So if you can get a good midweek, trip to the ski hill, this is definitely the place to go. But at the weekends, it can be a little bit crowded. Okay, so the next section here is about the best time that you should go, and it really varies, especially at Cabernet. Obviously, December through March are going to be some of the best times to go skiing, basically anywhere, but especially Cabernet. There's events if you're into NASTAR skiing, and there's check out their site. I obviously can't list all that here today, but they actually have pretty great promos as well. I remember I went to Central Michigan College, which was only about an hour drive from this hill, and they had a really affordable college night, and I think they still offer that today, where you can ski for, you know, around $10 all night, which is pretty great, especially when you're on a tight college budget. So check that out. They have like basically a promotion every day of the week. So I mentioned it earlier, but as far as like your single day getaway spots, I don't think anything beats Cabernet, because it's a really in and out situation, and like I said, they don't have the best on-site, you know, camping for a week, you know, staying at a resort style. But as far as a day trip, there's always promos. It's never too crowded, so it's really great for those single days. And that brings us right into the end, where I give it the final star review. So at the end of these videos, we like to give them a rating of 1 to 5 stars, and Cabernet gets a solid 4. And even though this is probably one of my favorite hills, I can't give it the 5 out of 5, and that's just because you can't really plan a family trip here. I think that's like where it really falls short. And I'm not saying that you can't do that, by the way, because you totally can. It's just if you were planning, you know, a group of, you know, a bunch of your friends or a family trip, I'd maybe go to another hill, something that has a lot more amenities. Like this place does not have things like spas and, you know, stuff for the people who aren't ready to go hang out on the hill all day. But like I mentioned, for those day trips, this is the spot to go. So that's 4 out of 5. That's Cabernet, still one of my favorite places to snowboard and ski. If you're interested in learning more about the other hills, we have a bunch of videos as well as packing essential guides, you name it. Be sure to subscribe to Be Alive YouTube channel, where we'll have tons more skiing content for you guys, as well as we're actually making this amazing ultimate ski and snowboard trip planning guide. That is a free download on our website, which you should be able to click the link above or in the description, and you can get started planning your next ski trip. So that's it for this video, and we'll see you guys next time.